What's up everybody, welcome back to another whitewater tutorial video. I didn't think we'd be doing another one again so soon, but the weather here has been kind of cold and snowy and the water levels have been a bit lower than usual. So here we are back to some whitewater knowledge. Okay, so this week we're going to be covering one of the phase one, most basic tricks that you're going to learn when you start learning to do tricks in your kayak, and that is a spin, okay, which is a 360 turn rotation of your boat in one fluid movement. A really fun trick, and it's kind of the starting point for a lot of the other tricks. Once you can do this every time, then you can start working on the others more easily, and it's super fun, so that's great. Same basics as some of the other things we talked about in earlier videos. You're still going to follow the same basic steps. Step 1, catch the wave. Step 2, smile. Step 3, have fun. You got to make sure you can do those 3 before we get into it, really. So make sure you're doing those 3 things well, and then let's get into it with our spin. So first thing you're going to need to do is get to the top of the wave. That means you're going to have the most room to move down, and it's going to be the easiest. You can force this trick out from the middle of the wave sometimes, but if you want the best chance for success, you got to be at the top. So get to the top. If you're struggling to get to the top, go refer back to the how to improve your front surf video, and there's some good tips in that one. Once you're at the top, you are surfing around, you're having a good time. Look upstream, and you're going to pick a target roughly central upstream, and that target's going to be really important later on. You'll see why soon. So you're surfing, you're at the top of the wave. Now pick a target. The next thing we're going to do is wind up our upper body, still with our head looking at that target. I'm winding up, getting ready to do a back sweep stroke or a reverse sweep stroke, which is going to push my boat around for most of the turn. But I need to make sure my body winds up as much as I can so that I've got the maximum amount of unwind, and I can get a nice smooth unwind to make my boat spin around to do that full 360 turn. So I'm winding my body up, still looking up at my target. Plant that stroke to start a back sweep and start putting pressure on it, and then unwinding my body. Don't think about it like pushing your arms. Think about it more like winding up your body, planting your paddle, and then start to unwind your boat around your paddle. As your boat starts to unwind, look over your shoulder, and you want to start looking for that upstream target again. Alright, and the turning of your head, the quicker you can turn it, the quicker you can spot your target again, the quicker you can pull your boat around in a circle in one fluid movement, okay? So the turning of your head really helps to twist that body up and give your boat more unwind potential energy, if that makes sense. Along with that head twist, to finish off your sweep stroke, you're going to finish with a forward sweep stroke on the opposite side to where you started. The goal of this stroke is just to push your boat through that last bit of rotation, and you will find that forward sweep stroke is just helping you level out for the finish of that stroke, and most of the work's going to be done with that wind up and unwind. So a couple other things to think about. We know our head is looking for that upstream target and then twisting around to try and find that target again. We know our body is wound up, but we can also think about where our body weight is, and that's going to help how our boat's trimmed. And that trim helps us kind of stay on the wave a little bit easier. All right, so as I'm winding up and I start to unwind my boat into that back surf position, my body comes slightly forward, just with a little more weight over my knees. I'm keeping my back straight when I do that weight shift forwards, because that's really going to help me actually move my weight forwards. If I just try and make my chest touch my spray deck, I'm not actually moving that much of my weight forwards because it moves down so much. So it's important to keep a nice straight back, okay, and then just come slightly forward from your chest, okay? As you're halfway around and you start to pull back into a front surf, you're going to finish back in more of a neutral upright position. And you'll start to feel that the more and more you do this trick, the more you'll feel when its body moves forward and when it comes back up. So a couple of good tips for improving your spin if things are going well and you've been following all the tips, but something keeps going wrong. It's quite often referred to as a flat spin, okay? So you want to make sure your boat edges are not lifting up a lot, because that's going to carve you off the wave, and they're not catching and flipping you over, because that's really funny for your friends who you're kayaking with, but it's not that funny for you because you're upside down. So keep that in mind. You're trying to keep your boat as flat as you can, without lifting enough so that you don't trip over it, but not so much that you carve off of the wave. As I've said a couple of times so far in this video, it's all about how you twist your body and then unwind your boat. Don't think about it as pushing and pulling with your arms, okay? Because that's not very efficient. And we're all about trying to make things as easy as possible for you guys. So just, you know, keep it low key, twist your body up, unwind your boat. Don't think about trying to like power through, you know. So there's that. Another thing that really helps me, I like to make swooshing sounds when I'm doing this. I'll show you one now, a little spin here, and then I'm gonna add a swoosh sound. Isn't that fun? Like, it just makes the whole thing a lot more fun. So, you know, if you feel happy or comfortable doing that, when you're surfing the wave, try and make a swoosh sound. If your boat takes longer than a swoosh to turn a 360, then maybe you need to re-examine what you're doing. Because you might not be doing it in one fluid motion, and maybe some of the things we've already talked about earlier in this video you can implement better to make that easier. So, you know, swoosh more. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if it's helped you out or not, or if you found it a total hindrance and I'm super annoying. I get it. I'm sorry if that was the case. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit subscribe down below for another video next week. I don't know what about yet. It's going to be fun.